All right. Hello, I'm Lee, and we're going to be reading some Enoch, the first prophet, book of Enoch here found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. There's your one witness. Peter quotes it, 2 Peter 2:4, "For if Yahweh spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down into hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment." Jude 1:14, "Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him." Matthew 22:30, the Messiah quotes it also, "For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of Yahweh in heaven." And that's right after he rebuked them and said, You err, not knowing scriptures, nor the power of Yahweh. And then he quotes Enoch. So, to me, if he rebuked them for not knowing scriptures, that's a pretty harsh rebuke. We should probably know Enoch. We should definitely know Enoch. So there's you four witnesses, and this is the R.H. Charles version, 1917. There's different versions out there, and there's other quotes of Enoch too. But I'll read the book of Enoch. Parable of Enoch on the future lot of the wicked and the righteous, chapter 1. The words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angels showed me, and from them I understood everything, and from them I understood as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one which is for to come. Concerning the elect I said, and took up my parable concerning them. So, who will be living in the day of tribulation, the elect and righteous, when the wicked and godless are to be removed. He took up a parable concerning them. The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling, and the eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. So Yahweh will tread upon the earth. And all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth. And the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame. And the earth shall be wholly rent in sunder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and there shall be a judgment upon all men. But with the righteous he will make peace, and will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them. So who's the elect? The righteous, the elect. And they shall all belong to Yahweh, and they shall be prospered, and they shall all be blessed. And he will help them all, and light shall appear unto them. And he will make peace with them. And behold, he cometh with 10,000s of his holy ones, to execute judgment upon all, and to destroy all the ungodly, and to convict all the flesh of all their works of their ungodliness which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. There's Jude right there. 100%. Jude quotes Enoch because Enoch was found before Jude. So he's going to come down, his right hand, Yahusha, God. Observe ye everything that takes place in the heaven, how they do not change their orbits, and the luminaries which are in the heaven, how they all rise and set in order, each in its season, and transgress not against their appointed order. Behold ye that ye the earth, and give heed to the things which takes place upon it from first to last, how steadfast they are, how none of these things are upon the earth change, but all the works of God Yahweh appear to you. Behold, the summer and the winter, how the whole earth is filled with water, and clouds and dew and rain lie upon it. Observe and see how in the winter all the trees seem as though they had withered and shed all their leaves, except 14 trees, which they do not lose their foliage, but retain the old foliage from 2 to 3 years till the new comes. And I want to go back here to, let's see, fear and trembling shall see. Heels made low, melt his wax before the flame. Yeah. $66. Yeah. Isaiah 66:15. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. Yep. Let's see. Go back to 4. And again, observe ye the days of summer, how the sun is above the earth over against it, and you seek shade and shelter by reason of the heat of the sun, and the earth also burns with growing heat, and so you cannot tread on the earth or on a rock by reason of its heat. Observe ye how the trees cover themselves with green leaves and bear fruit, wherefore give ye heed and know with regard to all his works, and recognize how he that liveth forever hath made them so. And all his works go on thus from year to year forever, and all the tasks which they accomplish for him, and their tasks change not, but according as Yahweh hath ordained, so it is done. And behold how the sea and the rivers in like manner accomplish, and change not their tasks from his commandments. But you have not been steadfast, nor done the commandments of Yahweh. But you have turned away, and spoken proud and hard words with your impure mouths against his greatness. O ye hard-hearted, you shall find no peace. Therefore shall ye execrate your days, and the years of your life shall perish, and the years of your destruction shall be multiplied in eternal execration, and you shall find no mercy. In those days you shall make your names an eternal execration unto all the righteous. That's also in here. Chapter... It shall come to pass, Isaiah 66:23, it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be abhorring unto all flesh. And he quotes that in Mark 9. See, and he says, yep, Mark 9:43, and if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having 2 hands to go into hell, into the fire that shall never be quenched, where the worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. And if thy foot offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter and halt into life than having 2 feet to be cast into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched, where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. And if thy eye offend thee, pluck it out. It is better for thee to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh with 1 eye than having 2 eyes to be cast into hellfire, where the worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. Where the worm shall not die, neither shall the fire be quenched. And all you yet we have seen enough. Let's see. Now, where's it at? Yeah, let's see. And by you shall all who curse, and all sinners and godless shall imprecate by you, and for you the godless there shall be a curse. Oh, curse. Here's an interesting fragment from the Dead Sea Scrolls. The earth and all that is on it, the sea and all that is in it, and all the ponds of water and rivers who are doing good before Yahweh, like those who curse and are destined for death, when the life giver will raise the dead of his people, and we will thank and proclaim to you the righteousness of Yahweh. And they're fragments, so it's kind of hard to... Some things will pop out at you. See, God's curse. And all there's a missing piece there, shall rejoice, and there shall be forgiveness of sins, and every mercy and peace and forbearance. There shall be salvation unto them, a goodly light. And for all you sinners there shall be no salvation, but on you shall abide a curse. But for the elect there shall be light and joy and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. Psalms 37:11. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. Next verse, for such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they that be cursed of him shall be cut off. So he's ordained some to inherit and some to not. He's the maker. Matthew 5:5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Psalms 82:8, arise, O Yahweh, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. And then there shall be bestowed upon the elect wisdom, and they shall all live and never again sin, either through ungodliness or through pride, but they who are wise shall be humble, and they shall not again transgress. Wise. What is that? It's Daniel 12. Yep, here we go. It tells you here, Daniel 12:1, at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time the people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book of life. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. And he goes on to tell you to shut up the book. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. We're there. This verse right here, righteousness. What's righteousness? Psalm 119, 142, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Law. For our righteousness. Tells you in Deuteronomy 6:25, it shall be for our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our Elohim as he has commanded us. It's not our righteousness, it's his righteousness. It's our righteousness by doing his righteousness. And they shall not again transgress and sin, nor shall they die of the divine anger, wrath, but they shall complete the number of the days of their life, and their lives shall be increased in peace, and the years of their joy shall be multiplied in eternal gladness and peace all the days of their life. And I'm going to drop the link here. I don't know if you can. Yeah, you just have to search. That's the Giza Verms Dead Sea Scrolls PDF. You can search that and look it up for free online. I'm not going to drop the link because I don't think it works. So, peace. $16.56. This is, chapter 6. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And also, if you go to Genesis 6:2, this is new news to anybody. That the sons of Yahweh saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Sons of God, the angels, children of heaven. They took wives. And Semjaza, who was their leader, and said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders: Semjaza, their leader, Arakabah, Ramiel, Kokabeel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakiel, Azael, Armaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zachiel, Samsapil, Sataril, Turil, Jamjael, Sariel. Very hard to pronounce. These are their chiefs of tens. Chapter 7. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and they began to go in unto them, and to defile themselves with them, and they taught them charms and enchantments and the cuttings of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. So they took wives and went in to have sex with them, and they taught them charms, enchantments, cuttings of roots, and plants. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells. and who consumed all the acquisitions of men, and when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds, beasts, reptiles, fish, and to devour one another's flesh, and to drink the blood. Where do you think dinosaurs came from? Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. So that's before the flood. And also, probably should have done this at the beginning. Jubilees. So the book of Jubilees, also found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. If you go to index, go to, where's it at? I think it's chapter, what chapter is it? 6? See, there's Enoch right there. See, this was given to Moses at Mount Sinai. This is chapter 4. So that's Mount Sinai is like, what, 1500 BC or somewhere around there. So if the account of Enoch was given at Mount Sinai, and Enoch lived before the flood, so he's probably like, I don't know, 3000 BC, the oldest account. It tells you in Jubilees chapter 4, Enoch, and he was the first among men that are born on the earth who learnt writing and knowledge and wisdom, and who wrote down the signs of heaven according to the order of their months in a book, that men might know the seasons of the years according to the order of their separate months. So the key to the calendar is in Enoch. And he was the first to write a testimony, and he testified to the sons of men among the generations of the earth, and recounted the weeks of the Jubilees, and made them known to them the days of the years, and set in order the months, and recounted the Sabbaths of years, as we made known to him. And what was and what will be he saw in a vision of his sleep, as it will happen to the children of men throughout their generations until the day of judgment. And he saw and understood everything, and wrote his testimony, and placed the testimony on earth for all the children of men, and for their generations. And let's see, so yeah, see, that was the testimony for all the generations, was the book of Enoch, which they got rid of, but's been recovered. Let's see, the 5th week in the 4th year of the Jubilee, the 11th Jubilee. So you look at 11th Jubilee, and you can kind of figure out, let's see, do a little calculation right quick. Not calendar, calculator. There we go. Calculator. All right. So 11th Jubilee times 49 equals 539. Daughter of 4th week of this Jubilee. She bare him a son in the 5th week. So the 4th week would be 7 times 4, 28. So in the 5th week, in the 4th year, so the year 32, Enoch was born. So you're looking at 10 times 49, 490 plus 32. Enoch was born in the year 522. And the book of Jubilees goes to the year 2450. So if you go to that and you go minus 2450, 1928, until they go into the promised land, and the estimations for them entering the promised land these are just estimations, but Israelites enter the promised land. Can't remember the exact. I think it's like 1800 BC. So you got here Israel enter promised land. Let's see. It is that doesn't help any. Pentecost. They got the estimated year here. Moses dies. Ah, come on now. $1272. That's not right. According to tradition. Nope. I think it's like 1500 or 1800. Let's just say 1500. So if you go back and you look at calculator. So you got 1928 years. Enoch was born in the year 522. And then you got 1928 years till they enter the promised land. So you got 2450 in Jubilees. Plus, say they entered in 1500 BC, 3950. And Enoch was born around the year 3400, somewhere around there. So you're looking at the book of Enoch being 3,000, almost 500 years old, 3500 BC or 3400 BC, the oldest book. Anyways, with that being said, let's see. The lost ones. Yep. Dinosaurs. So, Enoch chapter 7. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates and made known to them the metals of the earth. So they didn't know war before then. Must have been a peaceful earth. Well, besides Cain and Abel. Cain killing with a rock. And the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. So they taught them all that stuff. The fallen angels. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Shemjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Armoros, the resolving of enchantments. Barachiel taught astrology. Kokabel, the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Erichel, the signs of the earth. Shemzizel, the signs of the sun. Serial, the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. So if you notice very closely, if you look very closely here, that the angels taught them constellations, signs of the earth, sun, moon. If you go to Jubilees, let's see, chapter 8. Chapter 8, Jubilees chapter 8. And let's see. Okay. In the 29th Jubilee in the first week, in the year, the beginning thereof, Arphaxad took to himself a wife, and her name was Rasuja, the daughter of Susan, the daughter of Elam, and she bare him a son in the third year in this week, and he called his name Canaan. And the son grew, and the father taught him writing, and he went to seek for himself a place where he might seize for himself a city. And he found a writing which former generations had carved on the rock, and he read what was thereon, and he transcribed it, and sinned owing to it. For it contained the teaching of the watchers, the fallen angels, in accordance with what they had used to observe the omens of the sun, the moon, the stars, and all the signs of the heaven. And he wrote it down, and said nothing regarding it, for he was afraid to speak to Noah about it, lest he should be angry with him on account of it. So you look at that, Arphaxad is a descendant of Shem. And he's in the line of the patriarchs. That's not the same Canaan as from Ham. If you look at Jubilees, or Genesis, Arphaxad. Genesis 11:12, and Arphaxad lived 35 years and begat Selah. Well, no, it says he begat Canaan, not Selah. You look down here in the 30th Jubilee, in the second week in the first year thereof, he took to himself a wife, and her name was Milcah, the daughter of Madai, the son of Japheth. And in the fourth year he begat a son, and called his name Shelah. Canaan begat Shelah. Shelah was Canaan's son, not Arphaxad. So they got a hold of Genesis, which Luke will tell you is correct. They did get a hold of Genesis. If I can find it in Luke. Where's that in Luke? The genealogy. If you look in Luke, it's not 60. Arphaxad in Luke. Luke 3:36, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Arphaxad, which was the son of Shem, which was the son of Noah, which was the son of Lamech. Noah was a descendant of Enoch. Shem, Arphaxad, there's Canaan. If you look at the verse right after, they've got it. It's the New Testament in Greek is translated here, so the names are a little bit different. But see, Shelah, same one, come from Canaan, and they've got it backwards. This goes backwards. So here's Methuselah, which was the son of Enoch. Enoch. And where's it at? No, wrong one. Yeah, Jude. Jude tells you, and Enoch, seventh from Adam, prophesied. So, yep. So this is what Canaan found on the rock after the flood. All this stuff here, the fallen angel doctrine. How that plays into everything else, I don't know. But they took his name out of Genesis, and they didn't get it out of Luke. So it had to be after they got a hold of Genesis, or the scriptures. So, it's very interesting. Chapter 9, and then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. Lawlessness. See, this is in the book of Enoch, the first book ever written, the first person to write. Lawlessness on the earth. Does that give you a good clue to why it tells you in Revelation the opposite of lawlessness is lawfulness? Revelation 14:12. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahusha. Yeah, they changed his name too. See. Commandments. Tree of life. Revelation 22:14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. He tells you, even the Messiah said it. Yep. Don't read just one scripture and make up your own idea of what it means. Read the entire scripture, and it will tell you, it'll confirm itself. Matthew 19:17, he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, you want to eat of the tree of life, you want to enter into the gates of the city, keep the commandments, be lawful, not lawless. Lawlessness being wrought upon the earth, and they said one to another, the earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men, make their suit, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to Yahweh of ages, the Lord of hosts, the God of gods, King of kings, God of all the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of the ages, and thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou, and all things are naked and open in thy sight, and thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. Thou seest what Azazel has done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven. See, Azazel. Azazel. So Leviticus. To him ascribe all sin. So sometimes it's hard to find this stuff. I know it's in there somewhere. Maybe it is Leviticus. I think it is Leviticus. 16. Let's try that. And there's another verse too. No. That's the problem when they change the words around. Azazel. 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 Where's it at? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Okay. Yep. See the scapegoat. They got it translated here as scapegoat. They got it translated here as Azazel. So you're looking at Leviticus 16. Two goats, scapegoat. Well, it says Azazel in, where's it at? Azazel. Azazel. No results. What in the world? Do the Amp Bible. Nope. Okay, there's 3 in the English Standard Bible. Leviticus 16:18, Aaron shall cast lots over the 2 goats, one lot for Yahweh and the other lot for Azazel. But the goat on which a lot fell for Azazel shall be presented alive before Yahweh to make atonement over it, that it may be sent away into the wilderness to Azazel. Leviticus 16:26, and he who lets the goat go to Azazel shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterwards he may come into the camp. To Azazel ascribe all sin. And Simjazah, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates, and they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass. And thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them, and thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these. See, that's the angels. They're telling Yahweh, you haven't told us what to do. Then said the Most High, this is chapter 10, then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, Go to Noah, and tell him in my name, hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching. That reminds me of, they told Noah that. It's in Amos. No. Is that Amos? Wish I could remember all these chapters and verses. Yeah. Amos, not 16:11. Amos 9:3, and though they hide themselves. No, that's not it. That's not it. This is Amos. It is I thought it was in Amos. I'd say one. Psalms, Job, Ezekiel, Job. You know what? Might be, let's see. Where's that at? No. Yep, I can't remember where it's at. Anyways, tell him in my name, hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching. So they told Noah the end was approaching. The son of Lamech. Yeah. That the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world. And again Yahweh said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudael, and cast him therein. So Azazel, and where they send the goat into the wilderness, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment he shall be cast into the fire. And heal the earth which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. Scapegoat. And to Gabriel said Yahweh, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. So destroy the giants, the children of the watchers. Send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have. And no request that they their fathers make of thee shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf. For they hope to live an eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And Yahweh said unto Michael, go, bind Simjaza and his associates, who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations. So there's a time period in the valleys of the earth till the day of their judgment, and of their consummation till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. In those days they shall be let off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison, in which they shall be confirmed forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations. So, till the day of their judgment and their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. So 70 generations till then. And destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end. And let the plan of righteousness and truth appear, for it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth, and joy forevermore. The plant of righteousness and truth. That is, what's that here? Jubilees chapter where's that? I think it's 16. Where's it at? 6? No, that's 12. 16. Very interesting how all these books they took away from us puts all the pieces together. 16:26. Okay. Jubilees chapter 16:26, and he blessed his creator, that's Abraham, who had created him in his generation, for he had created him according to his good pleasure, for he knew and perceived that from him would arise the plant of righteousness for eternal generations, and from him a holy seed, so that it should become like him who had made all things. The Messiah. That's the plan of righteousness. John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So he's God too. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. And he's the Father's right hand too. So, plan of righteousness. That's what Enoch's talking about. And it shall prove a blessing, planted in truth and joy forevermore. And then shall all the righteous escape. So the righteous, commandment keepers, escape. And they shall live till they beget thousands of children. And all the days of their youth and their old age shall they complete in peace. And then shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees, and be full of blessing. And all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and they shall plant vines on it, and the vine which they plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. And as for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it shall bear 1,000, and each measure of olives shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness, and all the uncleanness that is wrought upon the earth, destroy from off the earth. And all the children of men shall become righteous, and all the nations shall offer adoration, and shall praise me, and all shall worship me. And the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all the sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment, and I will never again send them upon it from generation to generation forever. And it tells you in Jeremiah. No. Let's see here. Jeremiah 16. Jeremiah 16. See, then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, saith Yahweh, and have walked after other gods, Christmas, Easter, Sun God Day, Halloween, you name it, all the pagan holidays. They call it a holiday, it's a pagan holy day, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law. Commandment still in full effect. And you have done worse than your fathers, for behold, you walk everyone after the imagination of his evil heart. What they tell you? Don't sin. What's sin? You know, it's doing bad. No, that's what they tell you in church. What's sin? You just got to be a good person. I was in church for a while. I didn't know either. 1 John 3:4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is transgression of the law. You've done worse, that they may not hearken unto me. And what's he say also? Deuteronomy 5:29. Oh, that there were such a heart in them. Dead Sea Scrolls says mind in them, that they would fear me and keep my commandments. Fear me and keep my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Hearken unto me. Therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that you know not, neither you nor your fathers, and there you shall serve other gods day and night, where I will not show you favor. Therefore, behold, the days come. And he did that to them. You think you're any better than them? Nope. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So they're not going to talk about the Exodus anymore. Has that happened yet? No. But Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh, and they shall fish for them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt for them from every mountain and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. For mine eyes are upon their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity, lawlessness, hid from my eyes. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction. Key word there, day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Shall a man make gods unto himself that they are no gods? Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know my hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yahweh. You know what his hand is, right? Yahusha, the Messiah. But yeah. Generation to generation, forever. Chapter 11. And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessing which are in the heaven, so as to send them down upon the earth over the work and labor of the children of men, and truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the world and throughout all the generations of men. Open the store chambers of blessing which are in heaven, so as to send them down over the earth. Reminds me of Deuteronomy 30. I think it's 30. Yeah. Deuteronomy 32:2. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of Yahweh, ascribe ye greatness unto our Elohim. He is the rock. Yahusha, his work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment. An Elohim of truth, and without iniquity, just and right is he. And they have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are perverse and crooked generation. What did Enoch say? Perverse generation. Lawlessness. Chapter 12. Before these things Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden, and where he abode, and what had become of him. And his activities had to do with the watchers, and his days were with the holy ones. And I, Enoch, was blessing Yahweh of majesty, and the King of the ages. And lo, who's the King? Yahusha. And the watchers called me Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness, go declare to the watchers of the heaven, who have left the high heaven, the holy eternal place, and have defiled themselves with women, and have done as the children of earth do, and have taken unto themselves wives. You have wrought great destruction on the earth. And you shall have no peace nor forgiveness of sin. And inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, the murder of their beloved ones shall they see, and over the destruction of their children shall they lament, and shall make supplication unto eternity, but mercy and peace shall ye not attain. Wow. Ouch. No forgiveness for fallen angels. Let's see, it's chapter 13. I'll do 13 too. And Enoch went and said, Azazel, thou shalt have no peace. A severe sentence has gone forth against thee to put thee in bonds. And thou shalt not have toleration nor request granted to thee because of the unrighteousness which thou hast taught, and because of all the works of godlessness and unrighteousness and sin which thou hast shown to men. Then I went and spoke to them all together, and they were all afraid, and fear and trembling seized them. And they besought me to draw up a petition for them, that they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition in the presence of Yahweh of heaven. Now they defiled his whole creation, men, beasts, and everything. That's his punishment. For from thenceforth, and what are they doing with the thingamajig, DNA changing? For defiling his creation. For from thenceforward they could not speak with him, nor lift up their eyes to heaven for shame of their sins for which they had been condemned. Then I wrote out their petition and the prayer in regard to their spirits and their deeds individually, and in regard to the request that they should have forgiveness and length of days. And I went off and sat down at the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, to the south of the west of Hermon. And I read their petition till I fell asleep. And behold, a dream came to me, and visions fell down upon me. And I saw visions of chastisement, and a voice came bidding me, I to tell it to the sons of heaven, and reprimand them. And when I awaked, I came unto them, and they were all sitting gathered together, weeping in Abel's jail, which is between, it's interesting, it's got Abel's name in it, which is in between Lebanon and Sinesir, with their faces covered, and I recounted before them all the visions which I had seen in sleep, and I began to speak the words of righteousness and to reprimand the heavenly watchers. So that was Enoch's job, reprimanding the watchers. So, reprimand. Chapter 14, the book of the words of righteousness and of the reprimand of eternal watchers in accordance with the command of the Holy Great One in that vision. I saw in my sleep what I will now say with the tongue of flesh and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to men, to converse therewith and understand with the heart, as he created and given to man the power of understanding the word of wisdom, so hath he created me also and given me the power of reprimanding the watchers, the children of heaven, and all wisdom and understanding comes from the Most High, not from us. We're dirt. So praise him for anything he's shown me and everyone else. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision it appeared thus, that your petition will not be granted unto you throughout all the days of eternity, and that judgment has been finally passed upon you. Yea, your petition will not be granted unto you, and from henceforth you shall not descend into heaven unto all eternity, and in bonds of the earth the decree has gone forth to bind you for all the days of the world. And that previously you shall have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and you shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. And your petition on their behalf shall not be granted, nor yet on your own, even though you weep and pray and speak all the words contained in the writing which I have written. And the vision was shown to me. Thus, behold, in the vision clouds invited me, and a mist summoned me, and the course of the stars and the lightning sped and hastened me, and the winds in the vision caused me to fly and lifted me upward and bore me into heaven. And I went in till I drew nigh to a wall which is built of crystals and surrounded by tongues of fire, and it began to affright me. And I went into the tongues of fire and drew nigh to a large house which was built of crystals, and the walls of the house were like a tessellated floor made of crystals, and its groundwork was of crystal. Its ceiling was like the path of the stars and the lightnings, and between them were fairy cherubim, and their heaven was clear as water. A flaming fire surrounded the walls, and its portals blazed with fire. I entered into that house, and it was hot as fire and cold as ice. There were no delights of life therein. Fear covered me, and trembling got a hold of me. And as I quaked and trembled, I fell upon my face, and I beheld a vision, and lo, there was a second house greater than the former, and the entire portal stood open before me, and it was built of flames of fire, and in every respect it so excelled in splendor and magnificence and extent that I cannot describe to you its splendor and its extent. And its floor was of fire, and above it were lightnings and the path of the stars, and its ceiling also was flaming fire. And I looked and saw thereon a lofty throne, its appearance was as crystal, and the wheels thereof as the shining sun, and there was the vision of the cherubim. And from underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look thereon. And the great glory that sat thereon, and his raiment shone more brightly than the sun, and was whiter than any snow. None of the angels could enter and could behold his face by reason of the magnificence and glory, and no flesh could behold him. The flaming fire was round about him, and a great fire stood before him, and none around could draw nigh him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, yet he needed no counselor. And the most holy ones who were nigh to him did not leave by night nor depart from him. And until I had been prostrate on my face trembling, and Yahweh called me with his own mouth and said to me, Come hither, Enoch, and hear my word. And one of the holy ones came to me and waked me, and he made me rise up and approach the door, and I bowed my face downwards. So I'm going to end there. It's good reading the book of Enoch. I hope it was a blessing and helped somebody. And